So how about that $32,000 Bitcoin, eh? Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, going over why it could possibly be the best store value of our lifetime. Let's get into it. So obviously, lately, Bitcoin has been on a absolute rampage. It's completely torn through the market, and as of today, of recording this video, it has hit $32,000. An important thing to note about Bitcoin is that the scarcity is increasing, so there's less and less liquidity, which means that there's less Bitcoin being traded amongst people and more Bitcoin being stored into cold wallets. Additionally, PayPal, who just recently joined the Bitcoin scene before everything started to really get crazy, has been buying up 70% of the newly mined Bitcoin. And in fact, I think this is even higher to basically being the buyer of all newly minted Bitcoin. So let's go over the history and some basics of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created by one person or a group of people under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto, and he's been missing since 2014. So to add on to the scarcity, millions of Bitcoin have been lost or dormant over the years. Some Bitcoin are even lost in landfills, destroyed hard drives, or just somebody losing their personal keys. Every few years, Bitcoin goes through a halving, which nets the Bitcoin miners 50% less Bitcoin than they would have gotten previously. So each halving usually comes with a new market cycle. I personally believe, because the market is still young and small, that the halving is one of the main drivers of the market cycle, both bull and bear markets. Usually once the halving happens, it's a slow and steady incline, and this could eventually lead into some parabolic times. We all remember what happened in 2017. Well, this could be bigger. Bitcoin circulating supply is 18.8 million Bitcoin. 21 million Bitcoin are all that can ever be mined. And again, remember, there's a significant amount of Bitcoin lost or dormant over the years. The current market cap of Bitcoin as of today is around 600 billion. And the current price of me recording this is 32,317 US dollars, which is up 340% for the year. So if you think back to early in 2020, Bitcoin did hit a low of around $3,000. So right now, Bitcoin is more than a 10x gain of its low for the year. So you're probably thinking it's a little too late to get into Bitcoin. Well, the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is just getting started. We are just entering the bull market, and only certain companies and investors have actually entered. We know notably MicroStrategies has entered the market and a few others, but we're still waiting on a good portion of the institutional investors to still realize the true value of Bitcoin and enter the market. It's expected that 2021 could be the year where this happens. Just note that if gains get too parabolic and become a little unstable, at that point, you might want to take profits. And some important advice if you're just starting a Bitcoin position is just dollar cost average, and eventually down the road you will be in profit. The nature of a scarce asset like this is growth. Just based on mathematics alone, I think 32,000 is very, very low for what Bitcoin could hit. Some articles as early as June or even earlier have been mentioning numbers of 150k to 400k. I personally think that the number is much more north of this. We're going to look at comparing some market caps. The Winklevoss twins, Chamath, Jack Dorsey, and many more think that Bitcoin can beat gold's market cap. So to go over some market caps with you, right now the Bitcoin market cap is sitting at about 850 billion. Individual billionaires like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and others are at 8 trillion. Gold's market cap is estimated at about 10.9 trillion, and the stock market is a total of almost $90 trillion. And looking at these market caps, that dwarfs the current market cap of 600 billion Bitcoin as of today. So this is where I'm probably going to upset most maxis. The bottom line is Bitcoin is not a good payment structure. The fees are too much, and often when the network has too many transactions, it's pretty slow. So Bitcoin just doesn't scale well with what we needed to do to have instant transactions. That being said, Bitcoin is and possibly will be one of the greatest stores of value we've ever seen in human history. I'm personally a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin than I even am on gold. I really believe that in 50, 100 years, Bitcoin will be a far superior store of value than gold ever will be. So when you're talking about building a Bitcoin position, you really are talking about potential generational wealth. So at the end of the day, is Bitcoin currently worth it? I would say as long as you're holding for the long term, absolutely yes. Even in the peaks, it's always going to be worth it. The people that bought Bitcoin at 20k probably kicked themselves when they saw their position quickly drop down. But if they just held on for a couple of years, here they would be, up 12k on each Bitcoin they purchased. That just goes to show you the power of just simply hodling. So let's talk about my personal price prediction. This is where it gets a little interesting. So I definitely think that Bitcoin could potentially hit the gold market cap. And I actually believe that this might even be possible in this bull market. I do think that that's a lot of money though, so it does require a lot of adoption. I think realistically, we could probably expect on the low end, $150,000 Bitcoin, and on the high end, close to $1 million Bitcoin. I personally am somewhere in the middle at around a $750,000 Bitcoin by the end of this bull market. Now, I do think that's a lot of money, but I do think it's very, very possible, and I'm a lot more bullish on people coming into Bitcoin before they come into Ethereum. The big reason why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin is because there's going to be a lot of news on cryptocurrency, and a lot of people are going to be joining the market. And what's the first crypto that everyone gets into? That's right, it's Bitcoin. And most likely, people won't sell their positions once they've gotten into it, but they might diversify into other cryptocurrencies if they've learned more about the market. And of course, some people just can't get over Bitcoin and its appeal. So I do think the reality is there that Bitcoin could reach some unthinkable highs in 2021. And even if we experience a significant retracement afterwards, I do think in the end, in 10, 15, 20 plus years, Bitcoin will always be the best store of value that we can have. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed my price prediction. Subscribe for more videos coming out about the crypto space, the video if you've enjoyed, and comment down below. What do you think Bitcoin's new all-time high will be at the end of 2021? All right, guys, that's it for me. Happy hodling.